Yo, what it do, friends and family? Welcome back to the Day and Night Podcast. I'm your boy, Freshman Feek.
I'm Cody the Collector.
And we back for season 2, man. How you been, my brother? I haven't seen you in a while, low-key.
Hey, it's been a minute.
Man, what's up with you, man? What's going on?
Man, I went to Catalina, traveled there. I went scuba diving,
Dope.
scuba Cody, and through the kelp forest. So I went all through the kelp forest
In Catalina?
In Catalina. So
How was that?
It was amazing. It was amazing.
First time scuba diving?
I went in the Great Barrier Reef as well.
Okay.
So,
that's in Australia? No, where's that?
Great Barrier Reef
Yeah.
is in Australia.
Australia, okay.
So I went there, and then we also went zip lining. Then we went did a bunch of other activities also. So it was pretty cool.
That's what's up. Yeah, I just came back from Aruba last Monday, and that was dope. I was there for 2 weeks. Amazing. You know, people talk about traveling now because everything's so cheap. Round trip was only $400, so it was dope, man. Did activities, snorkeling, the sea bob machine, which was dope as hell.
What's that?
It's like, I like to describe it. The tour guides told us it's a brand new technology, brand new machine. It's like a jet ski, but smaller, but that takes you underwater as well. So you just hang off of it like this, takes you underwater, see everything.
I think I've seen that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really dope. But it got me realizing, because in order to go, you have to take a COVID test, understandably so. Took the COVID test 72 hours before, got the results negative, pulled up to the airport in Aruba. There's like 6 checkpoints where you have to show your negative results. And you have to upload it to like their Aruba website and get
It's a health visa, right?
Say it again?
It's like a health visa. I think I looked into it.
Yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm. But once you're in there, like, it's so chill. Like, there's no COVID on the island. You know what I mean? So I don't know what we're doing over here. We're 9 months in. We still got to wear masks everywhere. I mean, understandably so, because cases
were they
are
wearing
going
masks
up.
In Aruba?
All the staff were at the resort that we're staying at, but if you're staying at the hotel, they didn't really like have you do it, because everybody on the island tourists at least have already gotten checked before they even let you in the island. Like, you can't even step foot in the island if you're not COVID negative. And if you were positive, you have to go to the hotel that you booked and just stay there in quarantine for 14 days. You know what I mean? So that's why they incentivize you to take the test before you even get there, because who wants to get there and then take it there and find out they have it, and then they got to quarantine for 14 days. But yeah, it just made me realize, like, I don't know what we've been doing, but we do not have a handle on this shit. If the cases are going back up, like, there's going to be more of the same here when the rest of the world is moving on. You know what I mean? But other than that, man, vacation was lit. Came back here and, ready to get back down to business.
That's cool. Working hard?
Or hardly working.
Hey.
1 of the 2, baby.
Yeah, I just changed dealerships too.
Okay.
So I
talk about that.
Yeah, I used to work at the Reseda dealership, and now I moved to the Culver City dealership. So I work with new people. I work in a new atmosphere. So,
for the better?
I need to advance my career, and you don't want people to, kind of like hold you back or anything
100%.
that you want to kind of advance, So
100%.
I felt that this was kind of, the best option. It's less stress, not as much responsibility, like I still have pretty good responsibility, but it's just they're focusing on selling. I'm not selling as much, but it's pretty slow with the economy right now.
Right, 100%, yeah.
Which kind of sucks, you got to maintain my lifestyle. But I mean, other than that, it's pretty cool. I mean, there's been a lot that's happened over the past couple weeks.
Because there's got to be a healthy balance. I mean, you raise a good point in terms of responsibilities and pay, but also your work life can't be so stressful where you're not even like you're dreading to go to work every day. You know what I mean? So there's definitely like a healthy balance you want to. I don't know why I did the the wave over here, but yeah, there's definitely a healthy balance you want to have at work and with your personal life that it takes time to master that shit. You know what I mean? So no, I'm happy for that, man. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, and there was a lot of other things that happened. You got
Let's
the Dodgers,
kick it off, man.
You got the Lakers.
Let's kick it off, man. Let's start with sports. You know what I mean? Both the LA teams balled out.
What does that mean for LA? That means we're just better than everybody.
Like,
we're better than everybody.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been calling it all year. Lakers are going to win. I watch every single game faithfully. I saw the way they operated, the leadership of LeBron James. I knew he was going to lead us to this ring. We're going to go back to back. He said it when Kobe passed, RIP, that he was going to bring this championship this year for Kobe. And lo and behold, he did. You know what I mean? You got to give him his props. Got to tip your hat off to, you know what I mean, a man bringing home the gold when he said he's going to bring home the gold. You can talk about the Dodgers. I don't really watch too much baseball. I was just happy that LA team won. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like a huge, like, oh my God, I have Dodgers. But I mean, it's an LA team. You know,
Yeah.
I go to the Dodger game every so often. You know, I'll watch them.
Do you watch the World Series, though?
Yeah. I watched it. I watched it at my computer while I was selling a car. So
Okay.
that was pretty cool. And I watched the ninth inning at the bar right at the street. So.
Oh, yeah. I saw your story. Yeah, man, that's lit, man.
Both the LA teams. That's crazy. That doesn't happen every.
Are we going to have, yeah, you said, like, you think it has happened
before?
Before?
It's been a couple decades. It's been
it's been a while.
Possibly.
Because most cities don't even have, like, I'm tripping. Or we have multiple.
I'm honestly really happy for the Lakers, though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really happy. Like, it's been a long time coming. Just like LeBron said, you know, he wants his respect. He's the only player who's gotten a championship on 3 different teams.
Slightly inaccurate, but
no.
Yeah, Robert Horry has one with Spurs. You meant to say he's the only player who's had Finals MVP on 3 different teams.
Has Robert Horry had 3 different teams?
Yeah, he won with the Lakers, of course. He's won with the Houston Rockets, and he's won with
the Rockets?
Yeah, he has like 7 rings.
Huh.
Yeah, he won with the Rockets, I think, and the Spurs.
Got it.
Spurs. Maybe it might be not 3. Maybe just be Lakers and Spurs. No. Yeah, 7. So it has to be with. Yeah, you went with the Rockets too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm excited for the next year. I mean, we got the season coming up again. You think a lot of players are going to come back and play? Or
December 22. The season's coming up. They needed to do that in terms of, you know, contractual agreements. Because LeBron and a couple other players that went deep into the playoffs in the bubble, they're only going to have like a month and a half of rest, and then training camp starts back up. You know what I mean? So they were pushing for a like January 18 start. But with that being said, they were going to leave like $500 billion or like $500 billion on the table from TV contracts, you know, and that's going to affect the owners. But then that also affects the players because some of their salaries get put into escrow. And if the revenue matches what the expected revenue was for that year, then they all get that money. But if there's like a catastrophe like COVID-19 and revenues aren't the same, then that money that was put in the escrow, the players are going to lose that too. You know what I mean? So it was financially beneficial for both parties to just kind of suck it up and be like, all right, we got to restart really soon to honor these TV contracts. I heard some analysts saying it was because TNT it was a whole bunch of network shit, you know? But that's good for us. We get NBA basketball back up popping. Yeah, how you feel about that, though?
I mean, I think they should, you know, go back. Although, you know, usually do have a longer rest period. They had that longer rest period before the season
picked back up. Yeah,
so they had that long rest.
That's true.
So it's even for a majority of the teams who didn't make it to the finals, like the Lakers, basically they had even more rest.
That's true.
So and when you're like a true athlete, like do you need you don't really rest for an entire month. Like you're still training, training and working out. Like Kobe lost the playoff finals and next day he was right back in the gym.
That's true.
That's true. You know, even after the game, I think he went straight back in the gym. So it's like you don't really need a couple months to. Like, they already recovered during the COVID. So I feel like that's
maybe mental fatigue, too. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, like, the grueling schedule of an 82-game season. Well, they're cutting down the games, too. I think it'll only be a 72 game season, or 70 or 72, one of the two. But maybe, mental fatigue, you know, especially for LeBron. He's been to 8 out of the last 9 finals.
That's crazy.
Every year he's going deep, you know what I mean? And then after this season, the Olympics are coming up, 2021, so he's gonna have to play in that too. Like, hey man, more power to him.
You want to be the great? That's what you got to do, man.
That's amen to that, man. Mm-hmm. Amen to that. That's beautiful, man. What else we got going on though? We got Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. This month getting ready to square it up. 2 grandpa, old men. Are you excited? Like, what do you expect from this? Do you think it's going to be entertaining? Yes, but you think it's going to be like a quality boxing exhibition fight?
You know, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting because, I mean, Tyson obviously was one of the best, you know, boxers, one of the better ones.
Roy Jones Jr. too.
Roy Jones Jr. was really good.
Roy Jones Jr. was really good. Some people think he was better than Mike, like in terms of talent. Mike was just that power was just,
Well, I mean, hopefully, Roy's able to have both of his ears at the end of the, at the end of the boxing match and bite him up. I mean, I don't know. I don't really follow boxing like crazy.
Me neither.
It's just I just know Mayweather.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll watch it.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think it's gonna be interesting to see two old men, in parentheses, go back at it. So I think it'll be interesting. I mean, I've seen Tyson on videos on Instagram and stuff, just seeing his training and stuff.
Yeah.
And he seems like he's looking pretty good. How old is he?
He looks top notch. Got to be in his 50s. Got to be in his 50s somewhere.
I mean, if he's looking to come back in his 50s, that's a...
How old is Mike Tyson? 54.
Dang. So 54, he's in his 50s. So
that's crazy.
So yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, a lot of people are retired, chilling in Aruba.
But he has a podcast that's great, and he talks about it like that was his whole identity was boxing. You know what I mean? So when he retired, he had the money. I don't know if he's still because he was spending a lot of money too. Mm-hmm. So I don't know his financial situation.
Yeah, maybe he's deciding to box because he needs a little bit more money.
Maybe. I would hope that's not the case, you know what I mean? But maybe that is. But the way he makes it sound when he talks about it.
Like he has a passion for it.
I think it's more that he lost a part of himself, and that led to other issues later on with finding happiness, which we're going to get into later on. Maybe that's a part of his happiness that he wants to get back into. Maybe not even the exhibition, maybe for us, the fans, to enjoy, but maybe just him training. Because there's a lot of old people going to the gym, you know what I mean? Joining a local boxing gym in your community and, getting reps in and still training, that can still keep a fire under somebody if that was their life passion. You know what I mean? So that's going to be interesting to see. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. That should be cool. You can watch it at my place. I got an 80-inch TV. So.
80-inch TV? I'll be there, man. I'll bring the Coronas, not the virus.
Hey, man, whatever floats your boat.
100%. But let's get into, I think something happened the election. I think
we got a new president.
I think we might have a new president, or maybe the old president might just decide to stay in office.
Hey, who knows, man? That's pretty crazy, I guarantee you if in Biden won, by the way.
Biden won. Yeah, sorry. Let's go ahead and introduce the next topic. Biden won the election. It has been called. All the major networks have called it. We're still waiting on vote counts because of the amount of mail-in votes this year in particular because of COVID. A lot of people wanted to stay home. They didn't want to risk going out and casting their votes in person, which is kind of weird that a lot of states don't start counting those votes until election day. I don't understand that logic because a lot of them, they've gotten the mail-in votes all throughout the past couple months, but they just sit there until election day. Now you want to count all the day-in votes.
All of a sudden.
And then the mail-in votes. Why don't they start counting the mail-in votes as they come in? I don't know. Maybe there's a reason for that, but maybe y'all can tell us in the comments as to why they do that. But yeah, Biden has won. Trump says it's election fraud.
Yeah. Which I think partially may be fraud because, I think it was in Michigan or a couple other states. Mm-hmm. They had more votes than registered voters. So it's how does that work out? Has that
been proven, though? Because I've heard a whole bunch of stuff, but he brought all these lawsuits, and they all got shut down by judges. Judges are not Democrat or Republican. I'm sure in their private life they have their own beliefs, but judges are impartial. They're supposed to be impartial, apolitical. And they all the cases were just thrown out. They had no merit to it. All the elections fraud here. No, I don't see it. You have any evidence? His lawyers are no. And then they just they threw him out in 4 different states now. So I think, could there be examples of what's the one example?
It could be human error. I think there's human error. At the end of the day, Biden won by a couple 100,000 in other states as well. So it all kind of evens out. Even if one state did accidentally make a human error, at the end of the day, he still won the most states out of any president.
He made, and especially with the popular vote. I think he got 4 million more popular vote than Trump. He got the most votes, popular votes, flat out individual votes than any president ever in history. But Trump got second place, more votes than anybody in presidential history.
Which means there was a lot of people that voted the most people ever voted.
The turnout was ridiculous. Why do you think that is? I have a theory of it, but why do you think it is?
Well, it was the young voters. So the young African Americans were the people who, what I've heard, were kind of the deciding factors this time, because more African Americans voted this year than any other year.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah.
Any other year.
I know in 2016 our turnout was very low. I didn't even vote in 2016. But yeah, I didn't hear that it was higher than even in 2008 when Obama ran the first term. That's impressive. But my theory for that incredible surge in voting turnout is because this election was just about Trump.
It was strictly like they just didn't want him in office.
It doesn't matter
the whole Black Lives Matter movement, all the racial. I mean, you think about Biden having a black female
as a VP candidate.
That was strategic.
Of course.
Like he's not just gonna like just pick like that's strategic.
100%.
So I think a lot of the African Americans felt like he was focused on equality and the whole systematic racism thing and all of that stuff. So I think that he was kind of focused on that, so that kind of solved the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how
I don't
goes
even
with
think.
Biden.
But sorry to interrupt, but I don't even think that Biden did too much to really make his case for this voter turnout. I think it was America saw how Trump was in his 4 years, and his people came out for him because, again, he got the most votes of any president besides Joe Biden. So it was just a Trump election, whether it was the pro-Trump people came out and the anti-Trump people came out. The anti-Trump people came out and just voted for Biden because he's not Trump, right? So it could have been anybody besides. It could have been anybody in the against Trump. People were just voting to either keep him or get him out, and more people voted to get him out because they were tired of the divisiveness, like just the rhetoric, Just
the tweets here, the tweets there,
calling people names and stuff like that. Like it didn't really look presidential.
Very
erratic, and people vote.
He didn't look like a leader.
Because even I know some Republicans who don't like Trump, but they would still vote for the Republican Party because of the policies, the tax, whatever reasons they have. But some people that are Republican too, they just got to the point where like, all right, we can't do this anymore. Like the country is so on edge and so divided. Like we'll live with a Democrat going in for 4 years just to get the dust settles. The dust settles and like bring the rage of people back down.
So that way in 2024, Kanye can kind of take over and do all that.
He got 50,000 votes, bro.
That's crazy.
Which is like millions of people votes. It's not that much, but that's.
But like the point that like 50,000 people went out of their way to go vote for Kanye.
That's crazy. And I don't even think his wife voted for him, bro. She put a picture of like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris winning with like blue hearts on the picture. Of like, people were like commenting like, "Wait, did you vote for your husband? Your husband was running?"
Yeah.
Would you be mad if you ran for president and your girl did not vote for you?
Depends how she treated me.
Like, in terms of what?
She treats me good. Like
you don't give a.
You don't care. Vote for whoever you want.
That is funny, man.
But no, I mean, we'll see how it is. I think it is going to bring the state together. Honestly, I just want the stock market to go up. So I think that's really important. The economy and jobs and stuff like that. We need we're in a pretty deep recession. I'm starting to feel it right now. The first couple months, I didn't really feel the recession, but now a couple months in, like a lot of people aren't buying cars.
Because them checks running out, man. But I think Congress, they'll get their stuff together and pass another stimulus package.
Yeah.
Checks going out to people, $1,200, but they'll probably extend the unemployment benefits, maybe. We'll see,
but not the extra $600, not the extra stimulus. So I think now is when we're going in our slump.
Yeah. That's the thing, bro.
Because in the beginning, everyone was getting their stimulus and they were getting extra from unemployment. That was
they were getting more money than
they were working.
You know what I mean? So people the spending habits were still the same. People were going out there spending.
But now it's hitting them, and it's like, okay, now I don't have money.
Now, and the money they are getting, they're thinking about saving it a little more.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see how things go. The stock market's still going up and down, but it is going up. Hopefully, it's not a .com bubble where it just explodes and all goes downhill. Do you think that's going to kind of happen, or?
Hey, man, a lot of economists say we're really going to feel the COVID pandemic economy next year, 2021, like May, like summertime next year is when we're really gonna know like which direction the economy is gonna go, and a lot of it's gonna have to do with government response. Like that's how you get out of stopping. Like you don't want to be fiscally conservative during a time of economic crisis. Like that's when the government needs to pump capital into the economy to keep it afloat. When times are going great and everybody's making money, the GDPs are through the roof, then of course the government doesn't need to spend unnecessarily money because the wheels are turning of the economy. But when shit like this happens, that's when government intervention, and this is where all our taxes are going. All the other years when the country was doing great, it's like a saving bank, right? And we're giving it to the government. So now when the country is hurting, government, you're just holding all the money. Like, that's our money.
Well, Trump wanted to hold on to it just because he wanted to wait after the election.
Exactly.
He didn't, and I think that was a big part also why he didn't get elected, because people felt like he genuinely didn't really care about the people.
It was just about what plays can I make to make me look better.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
You know, like I think Biden's still gonna, have a stimulus package, but we're going to have to wait until January.
And then Congress is going to have to talk about it, and they have to pass it and get the vote. So, I mean,
it's going to be a process. Unfortunately, it's not going to be passed right away.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes. I wanted to mention the fact that this happened a couple weeks ago, but we had taken our season break. There was a militia group in Michigan that plotted. The FBI, stopped them right before they did it. They plotted to kidnap the governor of Michigan.
No way.
Yes, bro. She's a woman. I forgot her name. Come on. You gotta love to have Siri right next to you. You know what I'm saying? Who's the governor of Michigan? Gretchen Whitmer. They plotted on kidnapping her. They were like ready to go and execute the plan. And does that happen in America? What's going on here?
Hey,
and the news cover, you didn't even know about it.
I didn't even know about it. I hadn't even heard about
it. Think about that.
Maybe it's probably the Trump supporters, like the KKK, the Trump supporters.
Yeah. Well, they
people that are
they were Trump supporters. I don't think it was KKK, but it was like their own. There's a lot of armed militia groups that go training in the woods and they form their own groups. But yeah, one of them, they did say they want. They did it in response to the COVID lockdowns. They were frustrated that she kept stay-at-home orders going on and stuff like that. So, but
maybe it was the election fraud. She felt
No, it was before the election.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's probably due to that. I mean, just like our governor and our mayor, I hate them. I think they're total idiots. I think they're total idiots.
Talk about it.
They're just how they handled everything.
Yeah,
they're gonna just open the bars, close the bars, open the gyms, close the gyms. They opened it come on.
Very sporadic.
Yeah.
I was just thinking framing wise, because when I was watching the news about the militias, just the words they were using to describe them, and I'm like, imagine if that was a Muslim dude that was trying to kidnap the government. That shit would be on every
station,
news channel. Terrorism, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's funny how narratives play. Selective, and how they cover it, if they actually choose to.
If they even do cover it.
Yeah. That's funny, man. But yeah, we'll see how the country goes the next couple of weeks.
I got a question for you though.
Go ahead.
It was a really big topic. I've talked about it. What do you define as happiness? What do you feel is happy? How do you know that you're happy?
I define happiness. Well, let me start with saying I feel the most happiness when people around me are happy. My true loved ones, when I can do things that bring them joy, that naturally brings me joy. But happiness in whole, as a whole, I think happiness is when your soul is at ease and your mind is at ease and you're not stressed out about things and just able to enjoy your life. It doesn't necessarily have to do with how much money you have, because there's a lot of people that are millionaires, billionaires, but they're the most miserable people in the world. You know what I mean? Money can help facilitate happiness for sure. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's not the root of all happiness. You know what I mean? Happiness is genuinely being content with who you are as a person and seeing the people around you that you truly care about thrive as well along with you. I think that brings happiness in my life, at least. What about you?
Well, what do you in your life? What do you feel Because, like, for me, happiness is having a balance, is being satisfied in every aspect of my life. Mm-hmm. So first, at work, I want to be I'll be happy if I'm progressing, so getting promoted, or I'll be satisfied with $100,000 a year, making it like residual income. So I'm getting it from my properties, or I'm getting it just not working as hard, but I'm still getting my residual income from my properties.
Right.
You know, so I think financially wise, I'll be satisfied with $100,000. I'll still try and get more.
Right.
But I think when I'm making $100,000 a year and I'm not working 60 hours a week,
when you're not trading time for money anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
You're making money, but it's not directly equivalent to how much you're at this company or how long you're working. Where your money now is working for itself.
Exactly.
Your assets, I should say. Your assets are bringing in residual income, where you're making a set amount of when you're making a set amount of money, but you're not tied to the number of hours you have to export to that specific. Right.
I have more free time. So if I'm able to generate $100,000 a year and I still have free time, then I feel financially wise in that aspect, I'll be happy.
I agree with that. That's one of my happiness, definitely, is having the time. Time, for me, time may be, oh, this is a good question here. Spinning off of your question.
After I'm done.
Go ahead.
So I'd say being financially stable, making $100,000 a year, having that time, then relationship wise, being with the girl that I truly love and, you know, will take care of that. I look forward to coming home to seeing her. We have good conversation. Like, I just genuinely can look her in the eyes and say, like, I love you. You know, so like having a happy relationship and being satisfied with relationships, not looking elsewhere, just being really satisfied in that aspect, and having a balance of being exercise and hanging out with friends, like just going out with friends, going on vacations, hooping, just doing hobbies and activities. So I feel like if I fulfill all three of those, I feel that I'll genuinely be a happy person.
Now, do you think you can be happy before you get to there? Because, you know, I mean, we're not married now. I feel like I'm happy. Of course, you know, I have my days where, you know, I mean, I'm not as happy as before. I get, you know, you get sad some days. But do you, like in general, not your life specific, but you described what ultimate happiness would be, like where your goals you want to be. But do you think you can find happiness like on your way to getting to that point before you get married, before your career is at where its pinnacle is? Like, how do you find happiness on the path to that?
Like little appreciation, like, oh, I got promoted, like that's cool, like I'm happy, you know, like I accomplished what my goal was. So when you accomplish your goal, you know, that's, you know, you get a little happy, but so it's like your short-term goal, but you want to get to your long-term goal.
Got you.
So it's like you'll be happy that you reached your short-term goal, but then you're thriving to get to your next goal and your next goal and your next goal.
And goals can be categorized not just in the financial or career wise, even in like relationship wise, where like, oh, maybe you're not married and you're coming home to a girl every day, but you met somebody who sparks your interest, you know what I mean?
Genuinely makes you happy.
Like, and now
you don't get tired of her.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that ruins a lot of relationships when you get tired of them. You're getting, you know, you know, you're just getting, you know, they may be a dime shell 10 out of 10, but it's just.
I say this all the time. What's the perfect girl if it's not the perfect time?
It's the perfect time.
It's not the perfect time, man. But no, with that being said, what I was going to ask you is, if you had to choose, would you choose time freedom or financial freedom? What weighs more in your equation of happiness? Time freedom or financial freedom?
Financial freedom.
Financial freedom
weighs more? Absolutely. If I'm making a lot of money, I'm pretty happy because I'm able to have free time. It depends how you're making that money. If you're working 80 hours a week and you're having all this money, then obviously I'm gonna pick time instead.
But that's my question. So say it's a scale, one or the other. Whether you have the freedom
depends how I'm making that money.
Right. So would you, if you had to choose, of course, ideally you want both, right? But I'm saying, what do you put more emphasis on? Would you, like, say you're making $200,000 a year, but you can never take a vacation because you have no time freedom, or would you have the time freedom where you can just do whatever you want to do? You're not slaving for a company that you don't even want to be at. You know what I mean? Just for the money, you have the freedom to do whatever you want to do. But maybe you can't get all the luxury stuff. You don't have the financial freedom to get whatever's on your mind. So like, what do you value? Like, what would you put more weight on?
I mean, time is money. So, I mean, I think time is extremely important. You know, spending time with family, spending time with friends. So, time is important. But if you don't have any money, it doesn't really matter. like.
So I agree because I was
like, you need money.
My home and
like if I'm making a $250,000 and I'm working 40 hours a week, yeah, I'm gonna pick the money aspect. But if I'm working 70, 80 hours,
well, that's the point of the question. Because your example that what you just said is both. Like that's having both. You're having $250,000 a week, and you're only working 40 hours a week. That's you. So you have time freedom and you have the financial freedom. So ideally, which is my homegirl Chanel posted on her story. And it kind of got me thinking because I told her, I can't answer this question. Like, both. Like, I can't. I was trying to, the polls, when you want to choose. My fingers are going back and forth. I'm like, I can't pick one of those. But that ties into, your happiness question. Like, some people put too much emphasis on the financial freedom and they sacrifice so much of their time that when they get to their 50, 60, 70 years old and they're like in their older years and they realize how much time they missed with spending with their kids when they were growing up, how much time they missed with spending with their wife or their husband, you know what I mean? Because they put so much emphasis on the financial side, which of course you want a financial freedom, but you don't want it. I wouldn't want it so bad where I'm sacrificing valuable time with, my loved one, my kids when I have them, you know what I mean? So it's definitely a balance that you want to keep. Which is what you described when you talked about happiness. Like you want a shared amount of happiness in each field of your life, in your financial career, in your relationship, you know what I mean, and with your friends and your mind and body, which is exercise.
A balance. Definitely.
100%. 100%, man. I couldn't agree more with that.
Yeah.
100%, man. What else we got, man?
That's it, man. I'm just excited, I moved.
Kind of recap, yeah. Go ahead.
I'm just, moving dealerships. That's just all I'm focused for. We do what's called a PDM at the end of, out of every month at my job, and they asked me what my personal and my professional goals are, and I was like, both of them are just to get promoted. Like that's all I'm focused on right now.
Right.
That's all. That's like. I don't want to do anything else except get promoted because it's once again falls back on the progression.
And that's good that you made that known immediately when you got to that dealership. You let them know your goals right away, and so they can't leave you hanging further down the road, which I think is part of something the hang up that you got up with the last dealership, right? Where
sell.
Where now and it's like a double-edged sword because you were so good at that they kind of wanted to keep you there for their own benefits. You know what I mean? So now, like your new dealership, you're going to excel in that aspect too, but you let them know your primary goal, like out the gate. You know what I mean? So if
I'm going to sell cars, but I'm also going to focus on
getting promoted. So when that time comes, don't hold me back because this is the reason why I came here.
And that's going to be a serious problem.
100%. 100%, man.
I mean, what's your goal? I never really asked you.
My goal?
Yeah.
Right now, it's really to focus on investing, stock market right now. I've kind of reeled back on that. Most people don't know, but me and my brother just got a house. He might be moving out for getting married, doing other things in his life. So I'll kind of want to get into rental properties, like manage my own house first, learning how it is, renting it out, learning the ins and outs of that. I mean, you've dabbled and dabbled in real estate. You have a real estate license. So I'm sure I can pick your brain on that. In terms of like the renting side, I don't know if you have any experience in like
100%
renting property. Yeah. So I want to do that, and then I'll move out, find my own place, and then kind of just start with that.
Start with that residual
income that we're talking about. Yeah. So really, that's my foundation for like starting now, but leading into 2021 is really focusing on growing my residual incomes outside of my primary employment. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I have a foundation for it. It's just I got to do a lot more research on. I want to get it done right the first time. You know what I mean? I don't want to. Losing and learning lessons is good, but it's even better if you can execute the proper way the first time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I mean, I think we talked about a lot of good topics. Talked about the Lakers winning the championship. Talked about the Dodgers winning the I think it's called the pennant.
World Series.
But
it's funny how we call it the World Series when it's only America and Canada. I think one team in Canada, Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, so I mean the Lakers won, the Dodgers won.
Self-centered America.
You're right. We're better than everybody.
That's hilarious.
Lakers. We got the Dodgers. We got a new president. President even caught COVID.
President caught COVID, bro. That summed it up on his response to the whole COVID thing. He couldn't. Like people were
saying, how embarrassing is that? Say you're the leader of the United States.
People were tweeting that. Like, how is the president helping us and keeping us safe from COVID? He couldn't even keep his damn self.
Keep his and he infected the whole office.
That's crazy.
The whole White House has it,
bro.
But they all recovered.
Herman Cain, somebody died at one of his press rallies. I mean, his campaign rallies.
I think four people were led to 4 deaths led to the Trump rally.
Damn, son, that's crazy.
And that's our
insane.
Leader. Yeah,
that's our leader, man. But
yeah, new president. What's happiness? So we got a lot of good topics in. Season 2, we're gonna be at it every 2 weeks. We're gonna post a new episode. So
tune in, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment, subscribe. We want to hear from y'all. Thank y'all for hanging in there. And we're going to do this again real soon, baby. Day and Night Podcast.
Boom.
Boom.